Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey.
Awesome. Do you pronounce your name Delano?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. And then your last name is Medina?
Yes, sir.
Great. Awesome. Thanks again for calling in, and sorry about the timing issue on my end. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem, sir. I understand, man. You're a CEO, so I bet it gets busy.
Hey, it does. I appreciate you being understanding, but at the same time, I could do a better job. I want you guys, your time to be respected too. So
Yeah, no problem, sir. No
I want to
problem.
say thanks.
Yeah.
So Delano, where are you calling in from?
I am calling in from Pembroke, North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm actually a college student at University of North Carolina at Pembroke. So,
Really?
mhm.
Okay. And then you just got a deal?
So I got my first deal from Deal Machine back when we closed on Halloween of last year.
Okay.
And I don't think I'll ever forget that because when I pulled up to the title company, I seen ladies dressed in orange is the new black. People had, skeleton mask and all that. So I was like, man, it was like I can always remember that.
Man, that's so funny because the first time I ever met my accountant was also on Halloween, and
hmm
he was dressed up like Friar Tuck from and he was wearing sandals and a brown robe. And I've
Oh
never
wow.
seen him in person ever again since. So every
Really?
time I email with him, I'm thinking about how like he's just wearing sandals and a brown robe like Friar Tuck. It
That's
was probably on the
awesome.
same Halloween.
Might have been, man. Might have been.
So
Yeah.
what happened recently that you decided to schedule a call?
So I actually just figured out on Deal Machine how to add your profit because I was trying to make like track my analytics better on Deal Machine
Yeah.
because my market is about 50 minutes from where I live. So when I go driving for dollars, it's about like 50 minutes. I'm going in different neighborhoods and doing all that. So I wanted to make sure that I'm tracking, every place that I'm driving and making sure that I'm recording how much profit I'm making versus how much money I'm putting out. So that's kind of how I ended up just playing with it. And I found out where you could add a profit. And then I put my first wholesale fee into it. So that's kind of how I ended up sharing it with you today about my first deal that happened last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I'd love to hear about that. Glad you're enjoying the profit tracking. Did you actually use Deal Machine for the whole time, or did you just come back to it and then add that in there?
Yeah, so I had started Deal Machine in August of last year. I prior to that, I only did like one referral deal as in wholesaling. So I was just kind of just eager. I was just wanting to try anything, and I saw Max Maxwell was like, "Oh, Deal Machine." I was like, "Well, I don't got nothing to lose." I'm like, "Hey, why don't I just try it out?" And I did the free trial, and I never thought it would be like so much fun. I mean, it's simple, but it's fun. It's like making your business more lively,
Right.
taking taking pictures of distressed properties, sending them a mail piece, and then you
Right.
could change the mail piece.
Right.
So I just started playing with it a little bit, and I ended up getting into a phase where I was like, all right, I'm going to add as many properties as I can because I'm determined to get my next deal in the next 30 days. So I went around the neighborhood. I saw a couple signs that said, for sale by owner. I took a picture of that, and I took a picture of another property in the neighborhood. So probably like 15 days later, a lady texted me the postcard that I sent her. And she said, "Yeah, I haven't thought about selling it until now." She was just like, "What are you guys trying to offer?" And then I was like, "Oh, well, we don't typically make offers until we know the condition." I said, "I'd love to schedule a call with you to, get that information from you." And it was kind of it was kind of rocky because I had a buyer that was interested in the house, and he ended up backing out a week before we were supposed to close on the house.
Wow.
But luckily, I had another guy the same day come and look at the property when I was showing it. And he was like, oh yeah, I really, really love this property. I want this property. And as soon as I canceled the contract with that guy, me and this guy signed the contract and we closed in 6 days.
Wow. Okay. All right. And then what was your wholesale fee on that?
So I was originally supposed to make 7,000 on it. Um, but we ended up finding out that the seller owed back taxes on her house. And I wanted to kind of just make it a win-win for my cash buyer because it was the first time I had done business with him. And I said, look, I don't want you to be stressed out about, paying all the closing fees and all the back taxes and whatnot. So why don't we just split it? I was like, I might be taking a loss on my end, but I know that we'll be doing business in the future. So I said, hey, why don't we just split it? And we split it. So my end wholesale fee ended up being 5,300.
Okay, 5,300 is not bad.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
bad. Not
And I
bad.
love that you were focused on the long term
Mm-hmm.
and you were just kind of showing good faith that you're okay with splitting that. It was something you guys didn't know about and that you just valued the long term instead of like the short term. So, I mean, people would have tried to pressure that, to get the most money out of it probably in a lot of cases. But I really respect that.
Yeah, and I got such a good deal on it. Like, I was actually really surprised because I threw a crazy lowball offer and she accepted it. And I was like,
Really?
man, because I think the house was maybe worth like 100 grand, and she hadn't seen the property. She was an absentee owner. The people that were living in it, they were like there for 20 years. They hadn't moved out, and they were also hoarders. So me looking inside the house, I'm like, man, I can't barely navigate or look and see if there's an extra closet or what's a bedroom and what's this.
Yeah.
So I just, before even seeing the house, I just offered her 20 for it. And she said, 20 cash? I was like, yeah. She's like, all right, let me call you back. And she texted me back and was like, yep, we can do that. And then we just signed on DocuSign right then and there. So
Okay. That's incredible. And then how long was it before she texted you the postcard? When did she receive it versus when did she text you back?
I think she texted me, I think it was like I said, I think it was like 15 days after I sent the postcard. Cause I know that once you send the postcard, it takes, goes through whatever and you guys print it out and they send it out to the owner. And she lives in Jacksonville, North Carolina. So, I don't know how far that would take or how much time that would take for the postcard to get to her, but she was also a business owner herself and she was looking to retire. So she had the motivation to sell. And, we ended up closing and getting it done. So my cash buyer is working on the house now. He said he's about to put it back on the market in 2 weeks. And I'm like, shoot, I'm super excited to see what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's next for you?
Um, I'm still using Deal Machine, most definitely. I'm trying to get another deal with Deal Machine. Just going crazy, adding properties, getting more drivers on my team for sure, because there's some days where I can't make that 50-minute drive, but I can, you know, get people to go out there for me and do the driving themselves as soon as I teach them, exactly what to look for and what the definition of a distressed property is. So I'm just building my team really and just trying to grow my business, try to hopefully get the 6 figures. Um, hopefully by the end of the year, got a map, got a plan that I'm trying to go towards. So that's
Dude,
that's kind of where
could
I'm
you
at.
walk us through your map or do you have like, is that readily available that you could kind of walk us through what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote it down. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. I put it I have it in my room here.
Okay.
Actually, I have it on my phone.
That's funny.
And it's kind of just a basic goal setting sheet, right?
Right.
So I put my goals for the day or for this year was to make 10K in the next 60 days, All right. So I'm about to close 2 deals next week for 5K. So then I have another 5K that I have to do to reach that goal. 50 to 100 cold calls every day, five days out of the week, because I'm a college student. Time's a little of the essence for me. So drive for dollars twice a week, capture 40 plus properties each week.
Okay.
So that's one of my goals. Getting a good skip tracing platform. I mean, it's in Deal Machine. I mean, has a good skip tracing feature, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's an instant skip trace feature, so it's a bit more expensive because it's instant. If you've got bulk skip tracing, there are other cheaper options that you might consider. But yeah, just wanted to share. I mean, ours is really good if you need the number right on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's convenient too. I don't have to put it in and manually put in the addresses and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Bringing in more people to my cold calling team. So I have like 3 people now on my team that's doing cold calls for me. Networking with 10 plus people each week. And I'm trying to close 10 deals or more by the end of this year.
Okay, I like that. We've got a budgeting spreadsheet that we just created. It's like a budgeting tool. So you plug in like how many deals you want to get from Deal Machine, and then it'll tell you like how much properties you got to put in and stuff. Would you like to see that real quick?
Yeah, I'll be interested in that.
Okay, check this out.
All right.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay. Okay, so this is something new. It's really for our enterprise plan because they actually hire a lot of drivers. So you'll not everything in this will apply to you, but it's still a really cool exercise to go through. So let's say the average wholesale deal is $5,000 because this deal you did was $5,000. Let me sign in here so I can edit this. There we go. 5,000. There we go. All right. So switch to 5,000. And then the default in here is just to help people set the right expectation. We want you to add 300 properties for every deal that you anticipate getting. Okay. So basically, what this looks like is if you want to get 1 deal per month from Deal Machine. The first month you put in 300 properties, get no deals. The second month you put in another 300 properties, so you're at 600 total, and you get no deals. And then that third month, you get 300 more properties put in there, still get no deals. But then the deals start coming in after probably the third time you've reached out to all those property owners. So every month you're also marketing to those properties that you put in the month before. And then you keep building up, and then it's having you pump out a deal every month. And the money spent is actually money that you're putting into dollars on marketing, actually sending postcards. So I know you mentioned cold calling, but I just wanted to show this because it's obviously not as like cut and dry as what this budget suggests. But what a lot of people don't realize is that there's kind of a ramp up period where, you may have gotten your deal after putting in, and you said you wanted to put in 40 properties a week, which I like that. So that would be about 160 properties per month. So I think that's a really good goal, but I just wanted to say that you might set it a little bit higher to make sure you get that deal on the 4th month right away.
That's true. Yeah.
And if you're cold calling, it may be faster than the mailing. So that's cool. I know you set that as your goal. And I think that's really smart too, because it's also cheaper than sending the mail. Doing the cold calls is cheaper. So
yeah.
Really good if you've got the time to make all those calls consistently.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I, put on some people is because I can't always make the, 100, 200 plus calls a day by
Hmm.
myself. So I figured, hey, if we all put in 50 calls or more, then bam, and then also too with the drivers, if I'm making 40, if my goal is adding 40 properties a week, I might tell them, hey, y'all add 40 properties a week too, and I'd be able to reach my goal that faster as well. So
Hmm.
that's my anticipation for this coming year or this year is to just try to reach results faster by adding more people on. And I have no problem sharing the wealth at all. I mean, if I feel like if you have a team, you have to put people on, so
Right. Well, also the biggest thing is if you're going to have somebody else actually add these for you,
mhm.
let me make a copy of this.
All right.
Um, the biggest issue that you might run into is one I ran into right away. I hired this driver. I was paying her $15 an hour. I had her work 3 months. I hadn't gotten a deal yet, so I had to can her. I had to basically let her go, and she was like so unexpected. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't have money to pay rent next month. Like, I got to find another job. And then I did end up getting a deal from her on like the seventh month. And then after I got that deal, I was like, oh, I need a driver again. But there's no way she was going to come back and work for me again because
Oh,
you know what I mean. So it just like it caused all this disruption because I didn't plan this out. I didn't say like, all right, I'm going to need $3,600 to pay this driver to add this many properties,
yeah.
and that's of course for the whole year. And as you
Mhm.
like, it just kind of stops adding properties after about the 6 month. But basically, this is just to help you think about how much you might want to plan for the long haul because so many people quit too soon
Mhm.
because they haven't planned this out.
That's true. Yeah, and I tell my drivers, I'll pay you once we close on a deal,
Yeah,
and usually that's either $1,000, $2,000, just depending on how much I make. Um, and I just want to be transparent with them because I did the same thing with my first cold caller. I was paying her by the hour, wasn't seeing much results, and then I ended up spending a lot of money. And I'm like, well, I was like, I'm not really seeing any results right now. And then she stopped making calls, so it's kind of it's tough when you start paying people per hour, but on a commission, I feel like people are more motivated in a way.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Just did this bring anything to you that like that was this helpful? If so, can you let me know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, if you feel comfortable sending that, but I'd love to check it out. But
Yeah, it's just dealmachine.com/budget.
hmm
So just type that in and then basically just make a copy for yourself and you can play around with the numbers.
okay, okay. So dealmachine.com/budget, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, awesome, awesome. That'll be cool. Yeah, man, that's interesting. I appreciate you letting me know about that.
100%.
Yeah, man. And how long have you been in the real estate business yourself?
So I bought my first house. I started looking for properties in 2016
Uh-huh.
and I got my first house. When was that? Yeah, in 2016. Got the second house in 2016, and I got my first house from Driving for Dollars in 2017. It was like $4,000 purchase price. I redid it and then put it on Airbnb, set it up as like a corporate rental. So that's and then I've added a few more properties after that too. But it's all back in 2016. That's when it all started for me.
Awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
great. That's
So
great.
my goal was to build a rental portfolio. So I just knew I needed to find really good deals in order to
Yeah.
make that work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good, man. Yeah, my parents have always been in real estate, but I just kicked off my real estate wholesaling business last year, January. And there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I've learned a lot. And I feel like that's the biggest, asset that I have is the lessons that I learned
Mm-hmm.
throughout the phases of it. Because you won't be able to reach success unless you put in the effort. So I just
100%.
I just feel more passionate about putting in effort, knowing that I might not see results now, but in the future it'll pay off. And I learned that from this deal that I got in the past too. That all I had to do was wait and just keep putting in the work. Over time, it'll come. So.
Yeah, it's all about consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Great job on that, by the way.
I appreciate it, man.
For
Thanks a lot.
sure. Thanks a lot for doing this call as well. I'd love to touch base like next time that we get if you're ever feeling stuck or if you get your next deal, like let me know because I'd love to follow up with you on it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I have your number now, so I'll be able to contact you if I if I got any issues, man, or if I'm
Yeah,
trying to figure out anything. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the help.
100%. Thank you,
Yes,
Delano. I appreciate it.
yes, David. Hey, have a blessed day, sir. Talk to you
You too.
soon.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.